Sango. Oyo's fourth Oba was perhaps its greatest king, a man of power, sent from Orun to Aye, was the great mystery's gift. Olodumare was not pleased, was very wroth, despaired for his folk away from him they had turned, were a sinful, evil lot. He sent them Sango to study, civilize them, who was said to be from a child of an untamed and bloody disposition. This boy could spew fire, Orun's fire, out of his mouth. He was too clever, skillful in sleight-of-hand tricks, and he could call down lightning. Olodumare endowed him with many gifts, but through sorcery he controlled and mastered them. The people were afraid of him. Greatness apparent, he became Oyo's fourth king, and in 7 years, through constant warfare and strife, expanded by triple his realm. He, in time, became a punishing moral force, a scourge against sin. He would seek out murderers, liars, and evildoers among his people. He surely would strike them down with thunderstorms, lightning bolts, and loathsome sorcery, burn their homes and possessions. He would take revenge on those who hurt or offended friends and favorites. His justice was swift and sure, his retribution deadly. His love for magic grew. Jealous of his sorcery, he brooked no rivals. One day, craving even more power, he sought out Eshu. He wanted a charm of great power that only Eshu could fashion, and sent Oya, his wife, with a large goat to make Ebo, begged the Orisha Maperefun Eshu to grant his desire. The divine messenger, who knows all men's hearts, Nushangos, was pleased with his offer. "Come back tomorrow," Eshu said. "I will have what your husband desires then." "I wonder what Sango is up to," Oya thought, intrigued. He had told her naught but to bring whatever the Orisha gave her back to him, unopened and untouched, if she loved living. She could not return home empty-handed, so she slept in the woods that night. At morning light, she got up and went back to Eshu's house. Orisha Eshu met her at the door. He gave her a knowing look and a calabash. What Sango desires is in there, wrapped up in banana leaves. "Don't look and don't touch," he smiled. Curious Oya coveted magic as much as Sango. She could not bear the thought of Sango knowing something she did not. She waited until she was out of Eshu's sight and opened the calabash. She took out the charm and unwrapped it. Brown powder. She put a little on her tongue. Nothing happened. Disgusted, she dismissed it. She rewrapped it, put it back in the calabash. "One of Eshu's tricks," she laughed. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, none the wiser. Sango was waiting anxiously for her return. When he saw his wife, he ran out to her. "Do you have it?" Where is it, woman?" She opened her mouth to answer him, but before her affirming words came, a sheet of flame flew out of her mouth and singed his beard. She fled for her life. Sango chased her all over the compound, hurling his thunderstones and lightning bolts. She hid among the sheep. His anger was huge, but the people loved Oya and begged him, they did on her behalf. "Please forgive her, Kabiesi. Let her be." Sango relented. He really did love Oya, though she vexed him much. And he had his charm. He'd use it on an auspicious day. On that fateful day, Sango ascended the hill behind his palace to practice his sorcery. He wasn't sure the charm would work. He took the powder orally, but when he spoke the words of power, fire and lightning spewed out of his mouth and out of control, destroyed his palace and killed several of his wives and children. Full of remorse, he hung himself on a karite nut tree and descended through a hole in the ground into the domain of death. While dwelling among the dead, he saw the virgin Yewa, the daughter of Oduduwa, who had become so obsessed with Sango, her father sent her to the house of the dead to dwell forever and save her virginity. She had become the Orisha who consumed the flesh of the dead. She rendered the waste of their inert flesh into the earth's nutrients. And she was still unearthly beautiful. Seeing Sango again awoke in her the longing. He seduced her. She took in his seed, was soon big with child. Life was begat in the domain of death. Brucina, the virgin's child. By impregnating the eater of men with the seed of life in the realm of desolation and loss, Sango triumphed over death. Olodumare heard of this and marveled. Lifted Sango up, he did. Mo juba awo Sango, mo juba awo ojo. I humble myself before the mysteries of Sango. I humble myself before the mysteries of rain.